Hi, everyone. I hope my computer fan is not being overwhelmingly loud. It's a little cranky, but I'm running out of time in which I have to record and post this before my day just gets overwhelmed with other stuff. So we're just gonna have to roll with it. This week is the beginning of Unit 6, Technical Process Documentation. The work we do is similar to SOPs and technical instructions, but also has some unique features. I encourage you to pay careful attention to the PowerPoint. And at the end of this video, I'm going to do a little compare and contrast demonstration in hopes of clarifying the distinctions as much as possible. In the previous two units, the course content has been on telling people how to do things. But in technical process descriptions, the focus is on how things work. Rather than how to change your brake pads, your process description title would be how a car's brake system works. You're going to describe the mechanical function of the brake system, but you're not going to tell the user how to fix anything. Instead of writing fire escape procedures, you might write how a sprinkler system works. The first title tells people at a company how to behave in the event of a fire. The second title explains the mechanical process by which a sprinkler system gets activated. If your document title could be boiled down to how blank works, you're on the right track. Your only deadline this week is to complete the process description quiz by Saturday, April 2nd at 11:59 p.m. Also, we are moving into a season in which there are a number of important holidays in a variety of faith traditions. Ramadan begins this Sunday, the Christian Holy Week begins on April 10th, and Passover begins on April 5th. If you observe any of these and need flexibility with meeting course deadlines, please just let me know. All right, have a great week. I'll see you online. Please remember to stay tuned for the compare and contrast demo, which I'm going to share my screen and start now. All right, I'm sharing. So I did, since I referenced these two things, brake pads, and these are online articles. I don't have, then the reason I went with that is I don't have like a lot of student examples on corresponding topics, basically, is the thing. So how to change your brake pads. Save money with this easier than expected DIY project. And again, like these, these aren't perfect. Remember that in this class, I would rather you not use rhetorical questions in your documents. Anyway, there is an introduction about, you can see this, right? Like you already know what this instruction document looked like. There's an introduction. There's tells you what we're doing, why you would want to do this. Well, you're going to save money. Time required, 1 hour. I would say more if it's your first time. Tools required, materials required. Some notes before you begin, and then it walks you through the steps. Remove, and it actually has all the steps linked in case you just need a specific one. Remove the wheel, remove the slider bolt, pivot the brake caliper up, slide out the old brake pads, place the retaining clips, etc., etc. So it's it's methodical. Now here we got how the braking system works. Oh, and you saw, we had nice pictures for each one. Most modern cars have brakes on all four wheels operated by a hydraulic system. The brakes may be a disc type or a drum type, and most brakes in most cars these days have disc. The front brakes play a greater part in stopping the car than the rear ones because braking throws the car weight forward on the front wheels. Many cars therefore have disc brakes, which are generally more efficient at the front, and drum brakes in the rear. My car has disc brakes on both. All disc braking systems are used on some expensive or high performance cars, and all drum systems on some smaller or older cars. I don't know if a Subaru Outback is a high performance car, but and we have a nice label here of the dual circuit braking system. Master syllable, let's see, this is, and it's got a caption. It's kind of a long caption, but so a typical dual circuit braking system in which each circuit acts on both front wheels and one rear wheel. Pressing the brake pedal forces fluid out of the master cylinder along the brake pipes to the slave cylinders at the wheels. That is a technical term. I have not found something to replace it. I looked, sorry. The master cylinder has a reservoir that keeps it full. So we've got our brake pipes labeled. You see there's labeling. This is an old car. I think this might be based off of Volvo. We've got the brake pedal, master cylinder and servo unit. Brake hydraulics. So now we've broken it into one of the components. A hydraulic brake circuit has fluid-filled master and slave cylinders connected by pipes. So we got a breakdown of the cylinder. We got both our cylinders here. And again, sorry, there's not like a more palatable term for the second syllable. I try to do that when I can, but yeah. Anyway, fluid reservoir, piston, spring, fluid, brake pedal. So really nice diagram. The master cylinder transmits hydraulic brake pressure when the pedal is pressed. When you push the brake pedal, it depresses a piston in the master cylinder, forcing fluid along the pipe. The fluid travels to slave cylinders at each wheel and fills them, forcing pistons out to apply the brakes. Fluid pressure distributes itself evenly around the system. The combined surface pushing area of all the slave pistons is much greater than that of the piston in the master cylinder. Consequently, the master piston has to travel several inches to move the slave pistons, the fraction of an inch it takes to apply the brakes. This arrangement allows great force to be exerted by the brakes in the same way that a long-handled lever can easily lift a heavy object a short distance. Most modern cars are fitted with twin hydraulic circuits with two master cylinders in tandem in case one should fail. Sometimes one circuit works the front brakes and one the rear brakes, or each circuit works both front brakes and one the rear brakes, or one circuit works all four brakes and the other one the front ones only. Under heavy braking, so much weight may come off the rear wheels that they lock, possibly causing a dangerous skid. For this reason, the rear brakes are deliberately made less powerful than the front. Most cars now have a load-sensitive pressure limiting valve. It closes when heavy braking raises hydraulic pressure to a level that might cause the rear brakes to lock and prevents any further movement of fluid to them. Advanced cars may even have complex anti-lock systems that sense in various ways how the car is decelerating and whether any wheels are locking. Such systems apply and release the brakes in rapid succession to stop them locking. Now, a side note here, this is all single sentences, and that's fine for an online only publication. Please, in yours, use standard paragraphs. It's actually, I don't know if you're hearing this, but it's harder for me to like jump one line at a time to read it out loud than it would to just a paragraph. We've got another diagram here. A direct acting servo is fitted between the brake pedals and the master cylinder. The pedal can work the master cylinder directly if the servo fails or if the engine is not running. A vacuum valve, vacuum pipe, form inlet manifold, an air valve, a return spring, and a diaphragm. So you can see, so I'm not gonna like read all the way through this. This one's pretty long. This is much longer than I would expect yours to be. I will link to it in the announcement though, and I recommend you go through it. There are certainly some things in terms of formatting that I would have you do differently. Like I would actually have these long captions be part of the paragraph and then just say, refer to figure 5 or whatever. But there you go. So hopefully you can see the difference between how to change brakes and how the brake system works. Let's do one more. Sleep tips. This is one that is important to me. There's no real pictures for this one, but not as necessary, right? And this is from the Mayo Clinic. Sleep tips: 6 steps to better sleep. 1, stick to a sleep schedule. Pay attention to what you eat and to drink. Create a restful environment. Limit daytime naps. Include physical activity in your daily routine. Manage worries. Sure, haha. And know when to contact your doctor. And then there's a paragraph for each. That's different from the stages of the sleep cycle. So there's an introduction, just like there was. There's an introduction just like there was here, but it's slightly different. It gives us just a clue and outlines what we're going to be going through. Each sleep stage plays a part in allowing your mind and body to wake up refreshed. Understanding the sleep cycle also explains how certain sleep disorders, including insomnia and obstructive sleep apnea, can impact a person's sleep and health. So now, again, a lot of rhetorical questions in here, not a fan, but nonetheless, hey, guess what? They do a great job with parallel structure, so it's fine. So here we've got a definition of the sleep cycle. Sleep is not uniform. Instead, over the course of the night, your total sleep is made up of several rounds of the sleep cycle, which is composed of 4 individual stages. In a typical night, a person goes through 4 to 6 sleep cycles. Not all sleep cycles are the same length, but on average, they last about 90 minutes each. It is normal for sleep cycles to change as you progress through your nightly sleep. The first sleep cycle is often the shortest, ranging from 70 to 100 minutes, while later cycles tend to fall between 90 and 120 minutes. In addition, the composition of each cycle, how much time is spent in each sleep stage, changes as the night goes along. Sleep cycles can vary from person to person and from night to night based on a wide range of factors such as age, recent sleep patterns, and alcohol consumption. For real, drinking messes up your sleep cycle, just so you know. There are 4 sleep stages, 1 for rapid eye movement, and 3 that form, rapid eye movement, REM sleep, and 3 that form non-REM or NREM sleep. These stages are determined based on an analysis of brain activity during sleep, which shows distinct patterns that characterize each stage. So stage 1, NREM, other names N1, this is 1 to 5 minutes. So this is, they don't necessarily need like pictures or drawings here, right? But they break this information down into a nice table. Again, some sort of visual component is necessary for process descriptions, and you are required to have one in your assignment. So stage 2, NREM, also known as N2, this is 10 to 60 minutes. Stage 3, NREM, and 3, also called slow wave sleep, delta sleep, or deep sleep. So stage 3 is actually the deepest stage. This is 20 to 40 minutes. And then stage 4, REM sleep, REM sleep. This is the one where you're dreaming, and that's 10 to 60 minutes. The breakdown of a person's sleep into various cycles and stages is commonly referred to as sleep architecture. If someone has a sleep study, this architecture can be represented visually in a hypnogram. The classification of sleep stages was updated in 2007 by the American Academy of Sleep Medicine. Before that, most experts referred to 5 sleep stages, but today the AASM definitions of the 4 stages represent the consensus understanding of the sleep cycle. Then we've got our sleep patterns. This section describes sleep patterns, and we've got a short introduction. NREM is composed of 3 different stages. The higher the stage of NREM sleep, the harder it is to wake a person up from that slumber. Stage 1 or N1. Stage 1 is essentially the dozing off stage and normally lasts just 1 to 5 minutes. During N1 sleep, the body hasn't fully relaxed, though the body and brain activities start to slow with periods of brief movement. There are light changes in brain activity associated with falling asleep at this stage. It is easy to wake someone up during this sleep stage, but if a person isn't disturbed, they can move quickly into stage 2. As the night unfolds, an uninterrupted sleeper may not spend much more time in stage 1 as they move through further sleep cycles. Stage 2, N2. During stage 2, the body enters a more subdued state, including a drop in temperature, relaxed muscles, and slowed breathing and heart rate. At the same time, brain waves show a new pattern and eye movement stops. On the whole, brain activity slows, but there are short bursts of activity that actually help resist being woken up by external stimuli. Stage 2 sleep can last for 10 to 25 minutes during the first sleep cycle, and each N2 stage can become longer during the night. Collectively, a person spends about half their time in N2 sleep. Stage 3, N3. Stage 3 sleep is also known as deep sleep, and it is harder to wake someone up if they are in this phase. Muscle tone, pulse, and breathing rate decrease in N3 sleep as the body relaxes even further. The brain activity during this period has an identifiable pattern of what are known as delta waves. For this reason, stage 3 may also be called delta sleep or slow wave sleep. Experts believe that this stage is critical to restorative sleep, allowing for bodily recovery and growth. It may also bolster the immune system and other key bodily processes. Even though brain activity is reduced, there is evidence that deep sleep contributes to insightful thinking, creativity, and memory. We spend the most time in deep sleep during the first half of the night. During the early sleep cycles, N3 stages commonly last 20 to 40 minutes. As you can continue sleeping, these stages get shorter and more time gets spent in REM or REM sleep instead. And so are you noticing the structure of each section where they define it, they talk about what it's good for and how long you might spend there? Finally, REM sleep patterns. During REM sleep, brain activity picks up, hearing levels seen when you're awake. At the same time, the body experiences atonia, which is a temporary paralysis of the muscles with two exceptions: the eyes and the muscles that control breathing. Even though the eyes are closed, they can be seen moving quickly, which is how the stage gets its name. If you have a pet, like dogs definitely do this. You can see that. You can see it in your dog if you don't have any other humans around to watch sleeping, which can be kind of creepy, but it's not creepy to watch your dog sleep, right? REM sleep is believed to be essential to cognitive function like memory, learning, and creativity. REM sleep is known for the most vivid dreams, which is explained by the significant uptick in brain activity. Dreams can occur in any sleep stage, but they are less common and intense in the NREM periods. Under normal circumstances, you don't enter a REM sleep stage until you've been asleep for about 90 minutes. As the night goes on, REM stages get longer, especially in the second half of the night. While the first REM stage may last only a few minutes, latter stages can last for around an hour. In total, REM stages make up about 25% of sleep in adults. And then again, this is long, so I'm not going to read the whole thing, but I'll link to it. But then we've got a section on why the sleep stages matter. We've got a list of what affects sleep, such as age, recent sleep patterns, alcohol, and sleep disorders. Then this does give suggestions for how to have a healthier sleep cycle. But I hope you can see the distinction, right? You know, this doesn't tell you like a lot about how sleep actually works. It tells you how to have better sleep. It doesn't tell you a lot about how it works. This goes into really deep detail about all the phases of sleep. Likewise, you know, this shows you how to change brake pads. It's pretty thorough. It's a good one. It doesn't really, but it wouldn't, if someone said, okay, explain to me how your brake system works just from this tutorial, there's a good chance you couldn't. And finally, you know, again, this goes into the big details of really detailed about how different braking systems work. But would you be able to actually like change your brake pads looking at it? No, you wouldn't. And you know what, that's okay because different documents do different things. So anyway, that is that. I will link to these and have a great week. I'll see you online.